is gonna come over. Bellies.
That's right. Welcome to the 9 Lives podcast. Woo!
Oh, I just scared Bellies. Just kidding, Bellies. I'm not gonna shout anymore. There's a nice little spot right here, Bellies. The key is to be really gentle with the old. The elderly kitty needs me to be quiet, or else she ain't gonna stick around for that shit. You know what I mean? Very exciting. Thank you.
Anyways, hi guys. How are you doing? I'm Anne-Marie Avey, your host of the 9 Lives podcast, aka Crazy Avey, aka cat lover extraordinaire. You can't tell by my onesie.
Peep, 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 my little peep, 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 onesie.
It's a little bit cloudier today, so I put this onesie on. Normally we would record in the morning, but I had to go to the DMV this morning, and I'm actually going to be going back tomorrow because there was a line on the block, and I was like, fuck that. I don't wait in lines. It's very extra. You might think that's stupid. Like, it's the DMV. What are you talking about? What I'm talking about is either I need to go and make an appointment. Bye, Bellies. That was a nice little visit. I either need to go make an appointment or get there super early before anyone else because I can't fucking stand. The thing is there's like a line around the block, but it's outside in California. It's fucking hot out. By the time I get inside, I'm going to be all sweaty and my picture is not going to look good. It's going to look haggard and just sweaty and gross. And people are going to be like, what happened to you? And I was like, 2018, bitch. That's what happened. So I don't want to do that. So I had to come back. That's why I have a little bit of makeup on today. And then I've just popped this onesie on again because I am all for the cat call. Me and the cat call rising. We will take over the world. Sometimes I imagine that. Like, can you imagine just like one of the biggest cults in the world is the cat cult? Like a cat. Let's just say a cat cult. Right? Like maybe it's not this one, but like just this well-known cat cult of like people, praising and worshiping cats and finding it as a way of life and realizing that the cat symbolizes so many good things in the world that you need to aspire to be in order to be a healthier person. And so we put that back on the pedestal, and now there's a huge cat call, and like people do interviews, like fucking NBC is like calling me, or like Dateline, and we're like all in there together, and we're like, no, this is the way. Like, we're just, wow. What if I just took it like super serious? Like, I'm like, no, it's like Scientology, but for cats, for cat lovers. You have to give me all your money. And actually, it's not me. Everything goes to the cats. They have the best of the best. When you tithe to the cats, you really are tithing to yourself. Can you imagine? Don't worry. I wouldn't really do that. But like, what a weird thing. That'd be really funny. I wouldn't put it past anybody. That's for fucking sure. But yeah, I had to go to the DMV this morning because my phone got stolen. No, not my phone. Excuse me, my purse. My purse got stolen. And if you were watching my Insta story, I went to Costco. I did like this whole bit on Costco. I do Costco stories. Did this whole thing at Costco. I love Costco. And then I came out and I had left my purse in the cart. And when I put it in that little, like, line where you collect carts in the parking lot kind of thing. So I left it in there because I was being very distracty. And then I was driving back and I came back and I was like, holy shit, I can't find my purse. I think I left it in the cart. So I drove all the way back. It wasn't there. And then I looked for it to turn in. I looked all over. Nothing to be found. I had to cancel my credit cards. They spent like $8 on my debit or my credit card. So I had to cancel everything and my ID. And I was actually fine. Like when stuff like that happens, I was like, oh man. And I was kind of like, oh, whatever. Like, what a funny story. I'm doing this bit. I was actually doing this thing where I thought, the penis game where you like will shout penis randomly at like, it's like it's super like childish where you just yell penis in a public place, right? And you and your friends would play, or you'd be like, penis, like randomly, right? Well, I was thinking that they should upgrade it to the Drake song. Sorry, it makes me laugh really loud. And there's this line in the Drake song that says, fuck that ass, you're the only one I love. And I thought it'd be funny to like start saying that out loud, being like, fuck that ass, you the only one I love. Like that's a part. And so I was saying that in Costco by myself. And I did it in the parking lot too. And I got too into it. And I left my purse outside. Now, you could say that this was punishment, right, for me being a dumb shit. I look at it as when you get lost in fun, that like nothing else matters. And you're just in your glory of doing stupid fun shit. But I don't look at it as I didn't look at it as like a negative thing. I looked at it as like, God damn it, I was too distracted. You got to be balanced. You got to be focused, do your bit, and then also get your shit inside your car, right? So I went back to Costco. It wasn't there. But one of the reasons that I was like I ended up actually being really bummed about was because in my purse, there are a lot of my mom's things. My mom passed a year ago, and there was like a scarf of hers. I had a couple handwritten notes that I would like keep in my wallet. So whenever I went into my coin purse or like whatever, I would like look in there and there'd be something from her. It would just like I don't know, something about seeing her handwriting. She had such a unique handwriting. I think anyone can say that about their parents, but like my mom had a very unique penmanship. And I just, love to see it. So that was gone. And also like this mirror she got me, and just like a lot of things like were in that purse. And I didn't even realize how much stuff was in there until I really sat down and was like, fuck, it's not just my ID or my credit cards. It's like all my like sentimental things. And I really got upset. And one of the reasons I really got upset because it felt like I lost her again. Like it felt like I lost my mom again. And I went through this panic mode of like not being able to remember her. And if anyone there has lost a loved one or whatever, I'm sure you understand there's like this fear that you're like not going to remember them, or you're not going to remember their handwriting or the little things that they did. There's so many things. So if we even think about memory in the first place, they say like one of the reasons why eyewitness accounts aren't held very responsibly, like why a lot of police reports can't even use eyewitness accounts, is because after an hour, you forget like 80% of what happened during the moment. So like 80% of detail you forget, right? And then like after a week, it's something like 95% that you forget of like what actually happened. So when you lose someone, sometimes for me, I don't know if this is for you, but for me, I went through this like, I want to remember. I never want to forget her. I don't want to like lose anything. I went through this thing like, I'm not ready to not mourn. Like all last summer, I was like, I'm diving in. I'm mourning heavily. I'm going to like do things on her birthday. I'm going to like remember her all the time. It's like a way to honor the dead. It's like a way for me to keep my mom's memory alive. Excuse me as I tear the fuck up. But it's necessary because you go through those feelings because it's hard to imagine life without them. And if you've lost parents, I've lost both my parents, and if you've lost a parent or a brother or sister or anyone close to you, there's like this shakiness of like you're going to forget or not remember or not be able to sustain. So I went through this like crying thing. I was like really, really upset. It triggered me hard. And if you believe anything spiritual, I'm not like this super religious person. I grew up in a very religious my dad's side of the family was super religious to the point of abusive on some way, very controlling. And so I'm very aware and sensitive to, the aspect of religion and how you can take a turn. I think there are some really great things in religion. If you are someone who's religious, I'm glad. If it makes you happy, it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel like you're going forward, then all means to you to be on that train. For me, I'm more spiritual. I think the ideas of religion are great, but sometimes it gets too rigid for me of like right and wrong. And when they start kicking people out of the church in the sense of just for small things, I like, for example, my grandma, she got kicked out of the church because she was smoking in front of it. And I'm sure that wasn't the only reason. Like my grandma Avey is like, God, she would just argue with people and she'd just do what she wants and would just kind of, she was asked not to smoke before. And then she was like, well, God loves me. She's telling me the story. She's like, well, I'm a child of God. God loves me. So I think he's going to like me whether I smoke or not. And she just continued smoking outside the church. She wasn't in the church, but she was outside. And people kicked her out. And she was really upset and was like, that's not godlike, all that kind of thing. And I totally agree with her. So it's small things like that you can get kicked out of church for that it doesn't show unconditional love, which I think is what one of Jesus' teachings is, if you are following Christianity. But I digress. God, I always digress, don't I? What I'm trying to say is that when you go into... What was I trying to say? This is why I wish I was high. I wish I was high right now so I could be like, oh God, sorry, I'm high. But really, I'm just like, I just go off on this path and then I forget what path I was on. You know what I mean? I'm like a spider web. I'm like walking around, except like a spider web has a actual path that they go through. But mine is like the fly trapped in the spider web and just be like, shit, I'm stuck here and I can't remember why. But, God, why was I talking about my grandma Avey suddenly about religion? Austin?
Because you're talking about getting kicked out of the church, because you're talking about religion doing...
Shit.
What does religion have to do with fear about loved ones?
I don't really... Oh, I was talking about spirituality and then I got onto religion. Shit. Thank you, Austin. See, it's good to have someone here to remind you what the fuck you're doing.
Thank you. Pee-pee, what the fuck am I doing, Pee-pee? I don't know.
I'm a very spiritual person. So I believe in like a higher power. I believe something is bigger than us. I believe in aliens. I believe in different energies. I believe in quantum physics, right? That's shit's powerful. That's science. I believe in science. I believe in it all. Which is kind of interesting. I think a lot of people don't think I'm allowed to, but like I believe in it all. I don't know how else to not do that. It's my own religion. It's the cat cult religion. But because I have believed that everything happens for a reason, or there's messages for you or whatever, I look this shit up online. So even though, like, for example, if I get sick with an ear infection, I go to the doctor, get medication, whatever. But I also Google, is there a spiritual meaning to why you would get sick in your ear and in your, right down here, how your ear can go down your side of the throat and affect your speech or something? I look stuff up like that, and it talks about the throat chakra, or you not saying what you need to say, or you not listening to other people's advice, or you need being in your relationship. Maybe you need to know growth a little bit more in order to hear other people's ideas better. All these things. I know that sounds crazy, but if you Google like spiritual meaning of something, there's so many sites that come up with similar ideas on what the spiritual meaning is. So I go to that, right? So of course, I look up what's the spiritual meaning of losing my purse? And it's interesting because when you lose your ID, if this has happened to you, they say in the spiritual realm, again, this is not science and fact. This is not anything. This is just a new idea. I'm here to bring different ideas, new ideas, talk about them. You can say, yes, you like it, or no, you don't like it. So can I. I'm learning as I go as well. But the key is to be open, and it's interesting that I like Google this stuff and all this shit comes up. So I Google what the meaning of a lost purse is, or like your ID, and it talks about, a rebirth, meaning and a new sense of self. And sometimes people need to lose their IDs and lose all that shit, so they get out a new one. So it puts energy into who you are, and that comes with a lot of times when you have a new sense of self or a rebirth. A lot of that has to do with you working on yourself inward, and also, not doing habits anymore that you used to do, not doing emotional habits anymore that you used to do, not doing the same relationship pattern bullshit that you used to do. That's a new sense of self. If you break that pattern, if you don't go back to dumb idiots anymore, if you don't go back to people who are abusive and you break the pattern, it's a new sense of self. So a lot of times, these things happen so you understand, even know what's going on. Sometimes it's there to shake you up. Also, I also looked at it, which just was not a spiritual thing. I also looked at it as an opportunity for me to get my mental game on, my mental fitness. I've talked about this several times before. I've talked about when suicides happen and Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade and fucking Robin Williams, right? Here they are having it all, yet they commit suicide. Why the fuck is that? And it's not having a higher perspective on things and understanding that you can look at this as, wow, people are always, everything's always going to be shitty. You're just never going to have it all. And something always, quote unquote, bad is going to happen. Or you can look at it as an opportunity for you to look in the face of diversity, look in the face of challenge, and act differently with it. So, for example, my old self, even though I was crying because it was even deeper than just losing my ID, there's a lot of my mom stuff in there, right? Which is normal. Like, for me to cry about it, I was kind of beating myself up a little bit because I felt like I really need to let go. Maybe I have too much of her stuff, because I have a lot of her shit, by the way. Like, that wasn't the only thing I have. I have a lot of her shit. So it's not like I just lost everything of my mother's, right? But sometimes you have to let go of things in order for new stuff to come in. So I was looking at this as an opportunity to understand what was happening, to not freak out and act like the world is against me, to take tools I've learned, which is, it's not just think positive, by the way. Like, I hate even saying think positive, because it's such a fucking Pollyanna way to look at shit, and I can't stand it. But I think it's more like, acknowledge that this sucks, acknowledge that this is frustrating, and also acknowledge that you're going to be okay, and that there are things to do to handle it. Also, maybe give yourself an hour or two to be sad and cry about it or be frustrated, but then also wake up in the morning the next day and have a game plan. Well, what do I got to do? Well, you got to call the bank. You call the bank? Yeah, call the bank. Okay, now we got to go to the DMV. You go to the DMV? Yeah, I'm going to the DMV. It was too much of a line this morning, so I'll go tomorrow. I'll just go to fucking tomorrow. People do this every fucking day. You know what I mean? My mom's shit. I come back home. Guess what I did? I looked for my mom's stuff. I looked for her handwriting. I read a note that she wrote. I already have more stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I also thought about maybe that person, I had about $60 in cash, which isn't that bad. You know what I mean? More people, I mean, God, I could be Beyonce and having like a couple grand on me. You know what I mean? I don't know. Or maybe you only work in cash because you're a bartender and you have all like $600 on you and it's gone. I only had 60, right? And I can look at that and be like, you know what? Maybe someone needed it more than I did. Maybe somebody like was trying to feed their family and just looked at it as an opportunity. Maybe they're a shitty person. Maybe they just went to go buy heroin. I don't know, but I don't know. That's the whole point, is that you don't know. So why not choose? Why not choose to look at in a light that makes you feel better rather than everything sucks, why go on? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is like making it clear, but the reason why I really wanted to bring it up is because it's when you can master something small. Because let's really look at this. Having your wallet stolen is something small. It feels like a big thing. It feels like, because it's your ID. It's your fucking credit cards. It's all your gift cards that have been in there for years, or your little trinkets or some chain. Like, it's a bunch of shit in your wallet. But at the end of the day, it's all replaceable besides my mom's stuff. But like, the wallet in itself is replaceable. So you can't just go down. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to express that, but not to stay in that is the key. And I think not to stay in that is to do what I just said. Look at a higher perspective. Do you need to go online and look what the fucking spiritual meaning is of losing your purse? Fucking do that. Give you some new information. If you're religious, maybe you just got to pray to God and be like, God does things in mysterious ways. He's probably helping somebody. If you're an atheist, my brother's an atheist. So, but he's very positive. You know what I mean? He listens to, he reads Tony Robbins. He reads a lot of positivity books, but he's still an atheist. So he would look at, how do you get out of that mental state? He would look at it very logically. Well, maybe put a tape on that talks, repeats affirmations or some shit. Or I don't really think he does affirmations, but he definitely reads. So he's like, maybe I got to go read a chapter in some book that gets my fucking head out of this state of everything sucks right now. It's stuff like that. So even if you are an atheist out there, trust me, there are ways to help you with your mental game. And I was like, fuck, if I really want to own my own company one day, if I really want to be the CEO, have an empire of some sort, have a cat cult empire, right? Maybe I want to have a cat cult empire. I better learn how to handle my shit when my fucking purse gets stolen. Because if I can't learn to handle my shit when my fucking purse gets stolen, how the fuck am I going to be able to fire someone when they steal from me? How the fuck am I going to say no when companies want to take advantage or whatever? How the hell am I going to be okay if I, take a risk in selling some kind of merchandise and it doesn't sell well and I lost money on it? How the fuck am I going to be okay with that and still keep trying to go and go again? It starts with, what do you do when your purse gets stolen? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It all comes down to that shit. And when you start, when you stop reacting all the time and start interpreting what's going on. One way is I like to put at one way I had this idea that's a hurricane or tornado. Is it a tornado? Yeah, tornado. And they say there's the eye of the storm, right? When you're in the middle, when you're in the center of the fucking storm, it's calm as fuck. Is that a hurricane? What did I say?
Tornadoes are super narrow.
Okay, so hurricane. All right, so hurricane. Eye of the hurricane. Yeah, that's right. Eye of the hurricane, now that I'm thinking about it. Eye of the hurricane. When you're in the hurricane, it's super still, super chill, right? But there's chaos all around you, 1,000 miles an hour, right? Just all over the place. And yet in the eye of the storm, it's super calm. Nothing's happening. No chaos. You just see it all around you. And that is my goal in life, is to be the eye of the storm. So I can be in that storm. I can handle any storm I want. Doesn't matter, fucking what Sandy or anything like that come my way. I'm going to be in the middle all the time so that anything that happens outside of my control, I let go. I understand. I can look at it. That's happening over there. That's happening here. I'm not in it necessarily. My mental state is taken out of it. So now I can look at it at a more even, calm pace so I don't flip out and become super weepy, cryy, depressed for weeks at a time, rather than for a few hours, maybe a few days, and then you can bounce back. Because it's so hard to get out of that deep state once you're in it. And I think the better and better, it's just like a muscle. The better and better you get, the bigger your muscle is, the quicker you can snap out of it. It's never to not be sad. It's never to not acknowledge shitty things. Like, I really want to make that clear. Like, part of releasing that shit is acknowledging that something's crappy, right? So like, if I'm a friend and a person comes to me and says, "Oh my God, my car broke down," blah, 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 and they're upset, I'm not going to be like, "Well, think positive." Like, no, like that drives me up the wall, right? It's like, you gotta acknowledge their feelings. "Oh my God, that would suck. I hate that shit. That's so annoying. Blah, blah, blah. Do you need any help? What can I do? Do you need anything from me?" A lot of times they just need to vent, right? But then there's like a cutoff of the vent. When they're just saying the same thing over and over and over again for hours at a time, that's when you come in and be like, "Okay, well, what are we going to do about it?" Because nothing can happen. Like, it's out of your control. Your car broke down. What are you going to do? Do we have a game plan in place? Okay, great. So you're going to go tomorrow, go to the store, see how much. "Oh, I don't have any money." Well, let's even find out what the money is. Like, how much does it cost? Game plan. Because when you're moving forward, you're not stuck. That means your mind can move forward. That means like your attitude can move forward. That means you're doing something about it. And a lot of people, I think, feel paralyzed and stuck. I mean, that's definitely how I used to handle a lot of my emotion, is I become overwhelmed. And there's this thing called the fight, flight, or freeze. And I would freeze a lot. Anything that would happen in my life that was really sad or scary, I'd freeze, right? That means that's that great meme when someone's on fire in their house and they're smiling and they're like, "Everything's fine." And their house is burning down and they're not going anywhere. They're staying inside the house. That's what freezes. And that was my way of handling stuff. So to move out of that, you got to move your mental state first and then you can take more action steps. I can get into that another time. This isn't supposed to be like this huge therapy session. I don't even really understand why we are going here, but maybe some people need to hear it. I don't know. It's necessary. This is why I have like some things I want to talk about, but I didn't even mean to go in this deep into this shit. But here we are. This is where it leads, We always like just kind of follow the flow. That's part of it. That's what this podcast is about. 9 lives, 9 different topics. You know what I mean? We're going from here to here to here to here. Because I think that's what a lot of people are. A lot of people are not just one subject. We're all different types of things. We're all different types of human beings. We're all different types of how we react. Not one person is the same. I'm just usually sharing what worked for me. So interesting. I got really kind of serious. I didn't really mean to get so serious. You know what? Let's not be so serious for a minute and talk about how Papa Puff Pants peed on my fucking bath mat. Actually, that is serious. Now, before you go in saying like something's wrong, blah, 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 I know what you're talking about. I understand that like it could be something bigger, but to be fair, I didn't really clean the kitty litter as much as I should. I think Belly's is peeing more. She has kidney disease. And so when you have kidney disease, like you pee a lot. And I'm pretty sure it's Papa Puff that peed on my mat because Belly's has never once peed outside the litter box. But she does have kidney disease. And when you have kidney disease, you pee a lot more, you drink a lot more water, and it just goes through you. So the litter box, oh, did you guys hear that? Someone just sneezed really loud outside. Like I kind of thought he was like on Gladiator about to attack somebody. Ah! I was like, Jesus Christ. Anyways. Also, one reason I think he peed on the bath mat in particular is that I've kind of set a boundary with him of not doing Papa Puff in the tub. If you're unfamiliar with that means, he loves to do Papa Puff in the tub, which is where I take my laser pointer and he sits in the tub, and then I just put the laser pointer in the tub and he runs around in the tub and chases the laser pointer, and I call that Papa Puff in the tub. So the reason why I'm taking a hiatus from that is he will go in the tub and meow forever until I fucking come in there with the laser. Now, I refuse to be trained like the dog he thinks I am. I am not gonna do it. Like sometimes I'm like, God, how did this even happen? I did this one time and now he's training me to come to him every time he meows to do what he wants. I'm like, that isn't, wait a minute. How did this motherfucker learn manipulation tactics? What has he been reading online? Like sometimes it baffles me. It literally baffles me. So I was like, you know what? We're not doing Papa Puff in the tub for like a month. He's not going to do it. And boy, the first couple days was real rough. But he has since then not stopped meowing, but I wonder if he peed there as another fucking manipulation tactic. And you know what, motherfucker? I'm not falling for it. So yeah, go ahead and piss away because I will just get another mat. Actually, I cleaned it. And this is a little tip from me to you on how to get pee out of clothing or rugs or anything like that, fabrics, is you do like, your regular soap or whatever, but you also always use soda water. And you know what? Shout out to my mom who figured this little gem out. So I forget, my mom had our carpets cleaned one time. And a couple times. She got them like 2 or 3 times cleaned. And they came over and they would always get the cat piss out. Our cats used to not pee all the time, but like, oh man. When I didn't clean the kitty litter, I had a couple cat accidents that would let me know that I didn't do it in time. So one of those times was when my mom, she always would make coffee in the morning before she was a teacher, before she go to school. So she'd get up, go right downstairs, turn on the burner and get the water boiling, right? Well, my cat Butterball would pee on the burner. So my mom didn't know this. And when you light the burner on, the heat makes the cat urine like rise and like expand all over the house. It's like awful. And my mom claims she has the most sensitive nose in the world and would be like, God damn it, Amory, get down here. Your cat pissed on the goddamn. Like she'd always say, God damn, blah, 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 blah. Especially if she hasn't had a coffee. Like, look out. You know, she's a Gemini. Like, she's damn right. She's a Gemini without her coffee. Ooh, don't even get me started. And so we had several times and the thing that was really funny is I tried to clean the stove, but she said I didn't do it right. So she had to do it every time. It wasn't because I don't know what I did wrong. I was like, Mom, I'm doing it right. She's like, no, you're not. You gotta let it soak more. And then I don't know. But, it was really funny. I don't even understand why my cat Butterball. I find it really interesting that my cat Butterball chose to pee on the burner only that my mom made coffee in every morning and nowhere else in our 2-story house. Don't you find that odd? Like that is a cat that knows what's up and like cats know shit. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm like Papa Puff peeing on my fucking bath mat. He knows shit. Don't give me that. He knows shit. Okay. So anyways, when my mom had, they also like one time peed on my, I had a bean bag. By the way, I miss bean bags. I really want a bean bag. Like I love bean bags are just like a big bean bag to like watch a movie in. Ugh. I know it's like tacky or something, but I just don't give a fuck. I love a good beanbag. It's so fun to just plop down in, you know? I'm going to get a beanbag. I want to get a cat beanbag, like a big cat face. or just like a monochrome, like a one color cat beanbag with like ears or something. That'd be cute too. That'd be fun. You guys, I need to start a cat store. I don't know why I'm not doing this. This is like, get your shit together. But my cat Butterball peed on a beanbag one time, and my mom had the cleaners come over and like they got the smell out. And my mom was like, I tried everything. She went and got specialized shampoo. She went and got all this kind of stuff. And the cleaners were like, well, we always put cleaner in it, but then we use soda water. And my mom was like, you're kidding. So she went and used soda water one time. You know, and like I think there was like something on a blanket. Like I had a blanket on the beanbag is what I had. And so she put it in the wash and it got the smell out like that. And she stocked up on soda water. She had like 10 soda waters, like those liters in our laundry room. And whatever the case is, it gets rid of it. So the other day I had my bath mat out and I put it in the sink and all I had was LaCroix. So I opened a couple of those, even though they were slightly flavored, and I just poured that shit. It doesn't smell like piss out there. It smelled so bad before. Like I was like, what the fuck? But a little bit of that soda water, man, and it's gone. Like it really does the trick. I recommend doing that for any type of pee smell that you have. It works wonders. Trust me. But I would do OxyClean without soda water and it doesn't work. You guys trust me on soda water. It's a little key tip. But yeah, so Papa Puff peed on my mat and I'm not caving in. I've cleaned the kitty litter and you know, I think bellies go so much that it fills up really fast. So what I really need to be doing is cleaning it even more often than I normally do. And I could get a second litter. I know sometimes you're supposed to do that. The only problem with that is that I live in a studio. I can't just having like, you know, cat litter traps all over here. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to do that. I mean, the other option is having him pee everywhere, but I'm refusing to give in. So we're kind of seeing if I just need to like clean it more and then or maybe I just need to give in and start playing Papa Puff in the tub and just have that be my life. Please shoot me in the head. Like I refuse to let my cat control me. Like it's this thing where like I can be really lenient. And at the same time, I feel like I'm still like a mother and I'm like, no, we are setting boundaries. I'm going to respect your boundaries and you need to respect mine. I'm not going to come at 4 a.m. and play Papa Puff in the tub with you, Papa. Stop that. Although you're very cute and I love you so much. But we're not doing that, Papa. So knock it the fuck up. Okay, Papa? Thank you. God. But yeah. That's what's going on with Papa Puff in the tub. Also, I read this story. That there are bird-eating tarantulas. And I was shook. First of all, one reason why I was shook, if you guys have been following me for a while, you remember my Snapchat story when a fucking tarantula came into my goddamn house. First of all, I didn't really know it was a tarantula at first. I was like, what the fuck is this huge, hairy-ass spider, like, crawling, like, it like, kind of, like, went slow, and then it could go fast, and I was like, ah! And it's really funny, because Papa, like, loves looking at spiders, but he couldn't, like, I tried to, like, hold him up to the spider to make him look at it, to, like, attack it, and he just wasn't looking at the right spot, and it was a whole mess. And, by the way, tarantulas are not native to California whatsoever. But it wasn't until someone like showed me that they like sent me a picture and was like, oh my God, that's a fucking tarantula. Look at it. And I was like, holy shit, it totally is. I thought it looked like one, but I just didn't assume. And what happens is the reason why a tarantula would come in here, a lot of people let their tarantulas out and then their tarantulas like go somewhere and they don't know where they are and it's hiding and they usually like leave the house. So a lot of times these pet tarantulas come out of nowhere and will just be around. So they're not necessarily native to California, but they're around, like they just escape and will just be in the area, which is terrifying. So I had one come into my house. Do you know how terrifying it was? First of all, I was Snapchat the whole story. I actually still have the Snapchat up on my thing. And it's really stupid and funny because I'm like, Papa, look at the tarantula. And he's like tired and sleepy. And I'm like, God damn it. And this tarantula was like on my wall. And then suddenly it like goes down really quick and like goes under my bed. And I was so upset. I slept on my couch. I didn't even sleep on the thing. The reason why I couldn't call anyone is this happened at like 11 o'clock at night. And the next morning I was leaving for Washington because I had to go take care of my mom who was sick. So I was like, fuck, I'm leaving. And I don't know. There's a tarantula in my place. I don't know what to do. I'm this single woman. I have to leave. I was like, so I just left all my doors open. And at the time I had so much laundry. And I was like, fuck, I think it's in the laundry somewhere. Like I had a feeling that I was like, watch this motherfucking tarantula like post up in my fucking laundry all over the god. This is why I'm a lot better and not leaving all my clothes all over the floor all the time is because I saw like one time I was cleaning, I saw a dead spider in my laundry and I was like, okay, either I accidentally killed it by like dumping my laundry out on him or he went into my pile of clothes and suffocated from how disgusting my laundry is. So maybe it actually saved me, but either way, it's really terrifying and gross. So I usually do a really good job at like keeping it in my basket instead of like just throwing shit all over the floor. But this tarantula, I came back home like a week and a half later. The cats were with it. The cats were fine. I don't know if tarantula like cats, but I read this story and I was like, fuck, tarantulas eat birds? And I just left my 2 cats with this tarantula in my house? Who am I? I'm a monster. My poor kitties. But I swear to God, Papa Puff would have like, hey, what's this? And like would have like killed it and attacked it and thought it was really fun. But I came back. I like looked under my bed after I came back. I like looked all over. It wasn't anywhere to be found. Like I never found out where it was. So I just like assumed it just left. It just kind of popped in to say, what's up? And then it was, I think it was like cold or something. I don't know. But it was terrifying. But now there's like this bird-eating tarantula. Now, tarantulas, it's like these people found the babies of the bird-eating tarantulas, and like the parents were like out and about. And yeah, what?
The Derby story where it's like they got like the container got open and somebody found it in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
In London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what happened?
10 inches.
What?
10 inches.
10 inches of the side of this. How long is that? Austin, can you give me a ruler?
Yeah.
I want to see how long 10 inches of a fucking 10-inch spider. Is that like the size of my head? Oh my God, let's measure my head really fast.
Probably bigger than that.
Let's measure my head. I have a big head. I have a pretty long head. Like one time, me and my cute little friend McKenna, we were like taking a picture right by each other. And I was like, are you in the background or are you standing right beside me? Because my head looks huge right now. She was sitting right beside me.
That's a 10-inch spider.
Let me see. Okay, so this is a 10-inch spider. Okay, wait, let's look at my face. Okay, wait, what's the size of 8?
It's bigger than your head for sure.
Wait, what's my...
It looks like it's about, yeah, like 8 inches.
8 inches is my head.
Yeah.
That's 10 inches. That's a spider! Woo!
I'll link it.
I just... Excuse me as I make spider noises! Oh my God! Woo! Ew! Oh my God, just crawling around. When people like want spiders as pets, I'm like, I need you to take a personality test. Like, I need to know what kind of personality are you to want a spider as a pet? Like, who are you? Fucking sociopath. I just don't understand it. But apparently, like, I actually, after I had that tarantula come into my house, I was like looking them up because I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was like saying how some tarantulas have like personalities. And I was like, how do you know? But I think it's the same as cats. I think some people are like, cats don't have personalities. They just like want to be, independent and like just care about themselves. I'm like, no, not at all. What are you talking about? So I wonder if there's like a tarantula cult somewhere where they're all like, no, tarantulas are really great pets and they like hang out. But like, I can't see it. But it also reminds me of how this woman one time had a bee as her pet. She like went and saved this bee. This bee was like really sick. She like brought it in. She felt really connected to it. So she like somehow like it had no wings or something, or a broken wing. And so she like fixed it. She like took, I don't know, I can't remember what happened, but she like did something where she fixed the bee and then made a little like habitat for it and kept it alive. And then the bee like lived there. And every time the bee saw her coming, she like perked up and would fly around and would like want to get close to her and became a personality. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I had never seen that in my life. I never even heard about that in my life. Like, I understand bees have colonies and stuff, but to like actually bond with a human being, I didn't even know was possible. Like, I thought it was an insect, right? Like, some insects that, like, reptiles are cold, right? They don't have, like, these warm feelings. So to, like, see a bee, like, bond with a human, I don't understand that. To see, like, a tarantula have a personality and people, like are like, no, they're really friendly. They have great personalities. I, like, bond with my tarantula. I'm like, how? You can't cuddle. They don't chase the little laser. Oh my God, do tarantulas chase? Oh, that'd be interesting. I would be interested to like see that. I wonder if like people even thought about that. Like, get the laser. Like, if it thought, what if you put like a fake laser in their spider web? Like, you put a laser in the spider web and they like run after it. Yeah, they like run after it. And I'm like, oh, nope, now I'm over here. And they're like, wait, I'm hungies.
I'm just a little hungry tarantula. Feed me.
That'd be really funny. Tarantula in the tub. Tarantula in the drain.
It'd probably be scary once they start running.
It was terrifying. There was a spider on my ceiling and it was like kind of crawling and then it just went brrr, and I was like, ah! It's exactly like the movies. Like, you know, when they have like spiders and the spiders like kind of crawl out and then they go really fast. That's exactly what fucking happened and it freaked me the fuck out because it was fast as hell. It was like a little fucking Derby 500. Indy 500. Derby 500 is horses, I think. Indy 500 is what I meant. It's so scary. But yeah, that'd be interesting to like take bugs that people say they have bonds with and let me know how you play. I want to know how you play. So weird to me. But, you know, people think I'm weird for the cat cult. So, I mean, I guess treat others how you'd like to be treated. Okay? Bird eating tarantulas, though. First of all, I want to know what kind of bird. Because birds can be really big. But this was a 10-inch spider attacking a bird and eating it. I don't know why I'm freaked out. Papa attacked a bird the other day, and I was like, oh, cute. He's using his natural instincts. And now I'm like, ew, you tarantula, get out of here. By the way, that was one thing about the tarantula is like I couldn't just stomp on it. It was like a bird. You don't just stomp on a bird to kill it. Like it's huge. It's hairy. It has hair. Like you can't just like get a little newspaper and swat at it. Like it's a new identity. It's like an actual animal. You know? Can't kill it the way you normally do.
The guys in the kitchen used to just smash mice. Yeah.
No! Austin just said that the guys, so we used to work in a restaurant together, and he said that the guys in the kitchen would just smash mice with their foot. Now, do you remember that movie called Witches? And it was with Angelica Houston. Was it called Witches? Can you look it up? I think it's with Angelica Houston and it's called Witches. And what the story is that they would turn little boys.
The witches.
What?
The witches.
The Witches. Okay. They would turn little kids into mice or something. And then they would stomp on them and kill them. They'd be like, oh, get that mite. And they would just kill it. And it would like, the insides were like green and gooey or something, right? Like it was actually totally terrifying as a young child. Like that movie came out when I was, well, I don't even know if it came out. What year was that?
1990.
Yeah. So I'm like really little, but I remember not being allowed to watch it until like a little bit later. Cause I remember it kind of being a little bit older when I first watched it and I was like allowed to watch it. But I remember being terrified because these witches would just stomp on the mice. And I don't know how you would do. I don't know how you stomp on mice. Like their fur, like I don't get, it's not a fly. Like maybe I'm just being biased. I don't know. It's like so little, but like my, nope. Can't do it. How do you do it? But let's get into this. Okay, so then why the fuck can I kill a fly with a fly swatter? It's really hard. So did I tell this story already about, so my mom, we had this cat named Smokey and my mom hates mice, which is one reason why she allowed us to have cats growing up is because she didn't like cats. Little did she know she was creating the biggest cat lady in the game. But she like allowed my brother to each of us have our own cat. And so and she did that though because she looked at it, she hated mice. One time I literally saw her get up on a chair and scream like the goddamn cartoons. Like, you know what I mean? Where they're like, hey! I'm like, I didn't really understand that was a real reaction until I saw my mom do it. And I was in high school and I was like, what the fuck, Mom? You're being a cartoon stereotype. Like, what are you doing? But so one night, it was like 2 a.m. My mom used to bake really late at night. It's 2 a.m. My brother and I hear these screams, and I sleep through everything. I've slept through 2 fire alarms in my life. I'm not proud of that, but when I go down, I go down. Okay. So my mom is racing up. She's waking my brother and I up like, get down here. Oh my God, there's a mouse in the cupboard. And there was a mouse above the stove in one of the covers. And what she had done has set out a mouse trap. Okay. To kill the mouse. Well, there was a hole that came into the cupboard where the mouse saw the trap, got quote unquote stuck in the trap, but it was only its tail, tried to go back through the hole, but the mouse trap was stuck, like was too big for the hole. So the mouse is like trying to get out of the cupboard in where the secret passage of the hole is. And my mom just kept hearing this banging and was like, what the fuck? Opened the door, saw this mouse with its tail stuck and was freaking out. So my brother and I are like half asleep. And she's like, what do we do? And I'm like so dead. And I was like, well, why don't you just put Smokey in the cupboard? And my brother was like, yeah, Mom, let me just get Smokey. So he gets Smokey. And he's the only tall one that could like really reach this cupboard. So we put our cat in the cupboard and close the door. And my brother is like half asleep, like, you know, leaning on the side of the door. My mom's freaking out, like, oh my God. And I'm just sitting there like, can I go to bed? Like, you guys look like you have this covered. And at first, Smokey is meowing. She's like, Marr! Like, get her out of the fucking cupboard. Why did you just put her in the cupboard in the kitchen? Like, she's kind of scared. And then you just hear silence. And suddenly my brother was like, I wonder what's going on. And he opened the cupboard and our cat was eating the mouse. So now I'm not saying that's exactly like taking a shoe and smashing it. I could not do it. If I had a house that was filled with mice, I don't know what I'd do. Like I'd have a really hard time. Like I remember even in the last house that I had, there was mice that like ran across the room, and it was so disgusting to me and terrifying. But at the same time, like I'm not gonna kill it. Like I don't even want to see a trap. Like don't even do like this is where I get someone. I'm like, you can kill it, and I'm in this like make believe land of out of sight, out of mind. Like I can't do it. I cannot kill it, but I respect your right to. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, can't do it, but someone else can. I also had a friend that like had pet rats, and I never really understood it until she would like take them out, and like I was around them after a couple hours and like kind of got used to it and saw them have a little bit of personality. So now I'm like, God, does everything have a fucking personality and I can't kill shit? Like, what the hell? But it's all part of the food chain at the same time. I mean, my cat's got to eat. My cat's got to get some meat in there. It's healthy for cats to eat meat. Cats are carnivores. Cats are fucking carnivores. You know? So at the same time, this is where, by the way, I don't have this one set way of like, this is how it's supposed to be. I see every perspective all the time. That's the problem with me. Is that I have opinions, absolutely, but I also totally understand when you're like, no, rats are pests and need to die. They carry disease. I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. Get rid of them. And then I hear people, I'm like, no, they're human beings or not human beings. Rats are human beings. By By the way, one of my favorite episodes of Rick and Morty is Pickle Rick. Have you guys seen that? It's where Rick. Oh my god, it's such a great episode. It's where Rick turns himself into a pickle, and then he like goes through all these things, and he like becomes like stronger than the rats, and like he builds arms and like all this kind of shit, and then he kills like all these rats all to get to like this therapy appointment. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking deep. Guess what? It was nominated for an Emmy. The Pickle Rick episode. Sometimes I'll just shout out Austin knows. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm Pickle Anne Marie, bitch. I'm Pickle Anne Marie. Whenever I do something like cool as fuck. Or if I'm resilient, fucking Pickle Anne Marie. Pickle Rick, bitch. So good. If you haven't seen the Pickle Rick episode, it's one of my favorite episodes. So good. I highly recommend. It gets really deep because they have to go to therapy too. It's so funny. So good. So good. What was I talking about before Pickle Rick?
Talking about cats being carnivores.
Oh yeah, cats are carnivores. Right. Oh, the rats. That's how he got on. There's this part where he like kills the Rat King. It's Pickle Rick. So good. But yeah, I see how people don't want to hurt anything either because I'm such an animal lover that like I feel like I'm like they're just trying to live their little life and have a little family and like be safe from the rain and the hotness and you know just eat little crumbs and try to survive. Like I'm like they're just here to survive, like trying to live their best life just like you are. Like you're trying to be like, you know, your little like you know, RuPaul Drag's Race, like trying to be fierce and walk that runway and do that thing, wear your makeup and just be you. And rats are doing the same thing. They're just trying to walk those hallways of your house, trying to be in your walls and just scratch up and like build families. You just want a big family. I also think of it as that way. So really what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm no help to being your guide. I don't have the answers. I have perspectives, but I don't think I have the actual answers. And that's the problem. Actually, that might not be a problem. Maybe that's what we're never really supposed to get the answers. We're always just to be open to new perspectives and then go forward accordingly, right? Maybe that's the answer. And then just follow your gut. If your gut today is like, look, I can't handle this spider shit, you're going down. Or if it's like, you know what? I have a lot of mosquitoes today. Maybe you can stay in and web up and help me to get some of that shit out of here. Austin and I literally had to go buy mosquito spray and douse ourselves before we go to bed tonight because I don't have screens on my windows. Like, and how it's made, like I don't have screens, like it's all open windows, so the bugs just come in. And I live in California, so just bugs are flying everywhere. Plus I live by the beach, which means mosquitoes are on an all-time high, especially in the fucking summer. So Austin really gets bit. He has like 70 on his back, I swear. Like 17, which basically is 70 in my eyes because
I
it's...
have like 15 on one foot.
He has 15 on one foot. It's too much. And by the way, we like never see them. We've only seen like one time I saw one in the bathroom. He said he saw two. But like you can't see him. But at night, you know, right when you're about to go to sleep, then you hear this. And you're like, God damn it, motherfucker. I can hear you, bitch. Fuck you. I'm Pickle Anne Marie. I will win. And that's when I get the off. And I fucking douse myself and continue to slay at night. You gotta get new, higher learning, higher perspective. What the fuck's bugging you? What the fuck's bugging you? Can't be just mosquitoes. Maybe it's the fact that I'm still talking because it is the end of our podcast. Anyways, this has been a really random episode. You know what, though? I'm starting to say that every episode. I actually feel like I'm a Rick and Morty podcast Look, I'm going to come at you with a million different subjects. We're going to talk about them real quick, and you're going to think 5 hours went by, but really only 60 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me on the 9 Lives podcast. If you have any comments, comment below. What I want you to do, though, real quick, is to like and subscribe and to share, because that's what makes this cat cult grow, is liking, subscribing, and telling people about it.
Tell people about your little cat podcast.
9 lives, baby. We just die, but we keep rising, right? Someone stole your identity? Stole your purse? Fuck that. I keep coming back again, just like the Pickle Rick and all of us. All right? Love you so much. And signing off. Bye, guys.
Pete, repeat.